I used to believe that betrayal only came from strangers. I was wrong. My name is Marcus. I was 45 years old when I learned that the people who call you family are sometimes the ones watching for the right moment to leave you empty-handed. I had known Aaron and Luke for more than 20 years. We grew up in the same neighborhood, shared cheap beers and big dreams, promised each other we'd never let money change us. When I started my construction business, they were there, not with tools, with encouragement. "That's our guy," Aaron used to say, "future success story." I believed them, because loyalty feels real when it's spoken early. The business didn't grow overnight. I worked long hours, missed birthdays, took risks they never saw. Aaron handled networking, Luke handled logistics. I trusted them, not blindly, but fully. By the time we signed our first major contract, the company was no longer just mine, it was ours. At least that's how they framed it. I didn't notice the shift right away. Why would I? They still laughed with me, still called me late at night, still spoke about the future like we were walking toward it together. The first crack appeared quietly. An invoice I didn't recognize, a payment delayed without explanation. Aaron waved it off. "Accounting glitch," he said. Luke agreed. I let it go. Trust, I thought, means not counting every move. The second crack hurt more. A client mentioned a conversation I had never been part of, a decision I hadn't approved. When I asked about it, Luke shrugged. "We didn't want to bother you," he said. Bother me? With my own business? That night I couldn't sleep, not because I suspected betrayal, because I suspected exclusion. And exclusion is how betrayal warms up. I started checking details quietly, not confrontationally, carefully. What I found wasn't dramatic, it was worse. Small changes, shifted responsibilities, emails I wasn't copied on. They weren't stealing, not yet. They were preparing. The moment everything became clear was the day the bank called. They asked me to confirm a signature, one I hadn't signed. My chest tightened. I drove straight to the office. Aaron smiled when he saw me, too quickly. Luke avoided my eyes. I placed the document on the table. "What is this?" I asked. Silence. Then Aaron spoke. "We were going to tell you." That sentence is always late. They had taken a loan, in the company's name, for a project they hadn't discussed with me, a project that benefited them, not the business. I felt something break. Not trust, illusion. I didn't yell. I didn't threaten. I listened, because liars reveal more when they think you're still listening. They talked about growth, about shared risk, about how I'd understand. I understood perfectly. They thought loyalty meant access. They thought my patience meant permission. They were wrong. I didn't confront them that day. I did something far more effective. I went home and reviewed everything. Contracts, ownership clauses, authority limits. I had built the foundation well. They had underestimated that. That night, I slept deeply, not because I felt safe, because I felt prepared. I didn't confront them the next morning. I showed up like nothing had changed. Aaron joked about a new client. Luke talked numbers like always. I nodded, listened, watched. When people believe they've already won, they become careless. I requested copies of recent contracts under the excuse of an audit preparation. No suspicion, no resistance. Aaron even smiled. "Smart move," he said. He had no idea what I was looking for. Over the next 2 weeks, I stayed late at the office, not visibly stressed, not angry, methodical. I compared signatures, tracked approvals, mapped who had authority over what. They had made one mistake. They assumed I wouldn't read the fine print I had written myself years ago. The loan required unanimous partner approval. Mine was missing. That detail mattered. I scheduled a meeting with the bank, alone. The banker looked uncomfortable as I explained the situation. He pulled the file, checked the documents again, then frowned. "This shouldn't have gone through," he said. I didn't argue. I let the silence work. Within days, the bank froze the account linked to the loan. Aaron called me immediately. "Did you talk to the bank?" he asked, trying to sound casual. "Yes," I said. A pause. "You could have mentioned it," he replied. "I will," I said, in person. The meeting happened the following Friday. No jokes this time. Luke's leg bounced under the table. Aaron leaned back, arms crossed. I laid out the documents calmly. "This loan isn't valid," I said, "and it puts the company at risk." Aaron's tone sharpened. "We were trying to move fast," he said. "At my expense," I replied. Luke finally spoke. "We thought you'd understand." I looked at them both. "You thought I wouldn't notice." Silence fell. Not heavy, exposed. I didn't accuse them of betrayal. I didn't need to. Their discomfort said everything. "I'm restructuring ownership," I said, "effective immediately." Aaron laughed. "You can't just do that." "I can, and I am." I slid a second set of papers across the table. They hadn't read them yet. They would. Their confidence drained slowly. Luke's voice cracked. "We built this together." "No," I said. "I built it. You joined it." That distinction had been overdue. I offered them options, fair ones, not generous, not cruel. They could exit quietly or fight and lose everything. Aaron stood up. "This isn't over," he said. I met his eyes. "It is for me." They left without another word. I sat alone in the office after they were gone. The silence felt different now. Not empty, earned. That evening, I changed the locks, not out of anger, out of clarity. I didn't feel victorious. I felt lighter, because loyalty, I learned, is not proven by time spent together. It's proven by what people do when opportunity appears, and theirs had spoken loudly. Aaron and Luke didn't disappear after that meeting. They regrouped. That was expected. People who lose access don't walk away quietly. They look for another door. Within a week, rumors started circulating. Clients asking careful questions, suppliers suddenly hesitating, emails copied to lawyers I had never met. Aaron was telling his version of the story. So was Luke. They framed themselves as partners pushed out unfairly, as visionaries blocked by one man's ego. They underestimated something important. I wasn't emotional. I was factual. I didn't respond publicly. I documented everything, every email, every call, every misstatement. I allowed them to talk, because lies require repetition to survive. Truth doesn't. The moment came during a scheduled review with our largest client, a meeting Aaron had insisted on attending. He walked in confidently, like the past hadn't changed. Luke followed, quieter than usual. The room filled. Executives, legal counsel, project managers. Aaron spoke first. He always did. He talked about vision, about leadership, about how the company had lost its way. I let him finish. Then I spoke, calmly. I didn't argue narrative. I presented records, contracts, approval clauses, the loan documentation. I showed dates, signatures, authority limits. The room shifted. Questions followed, direct ones. Aaron's voice lost its rhythm. Luke stopped speaking altogether. By the end of the meeting, nothing needed to be said. The client thanked me for clarity. Aaron gathered his papers slowly. Luke avoided my eyes. Outside the room, Aaron confronted me. "You planned this," he said. I nodded. "Yes," I replied. "For the company." "For yourself," he snapped. I looked at him evenly. There was no difference, I said. That was when he understood. Weeks later, the matter closed. No lawsuits, no public drama. Aaron and Luke signed exit agreements, quiet ones. The company stabilized, not because I won, because chaos left. Months passed. The office felt different, lighter. People spoke honestly again. Trust returned slowly, but real this time. One afternoon, a younger employee asked me something unexpected. How did you know when to stop trusting them? I thought for a moment. I didn't, I said. I knew when to start trusting myself. That answer surprised him. It surprised me, too. I didn't celebrate the ending. I respected it. Because not every betrayal deserves revenge. Some deserve removal. If you are listening to this and feeling uneasy about someone close to you, someone who benefits from your silence, pay attention. Trust isn't proven by shared history. It's proven by shared risk. And when someone risks you to save themselves, the story has already ended. You just have to decide how calmly you'll close the door.